Welcome, Texans for Vaccine Choice. I am your Executive Director, Jackie Schlegel.
And I am Rebecca Hardy, your Director of State Policy, and welcome to another edition of the Weekly Chat About Choice.
The Weekly Chat About Choice, and today we are taking on the hot topic of the war against women. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out here right now on why we are doing this episode, because we were actually recording some other shows, and somehow Jackie got really fired up.
It was awesome.
A little angry, and I just went after something that I'm very upset about and very passionate about.
And we decided, hey, that needs its
own show.
So here we are.
We're back here, and we're just going to tackle this because really we were doing this as a show about bullying,
right,
and about the tactics used against families, and this ended up being this very long discussion on all the different bullying from the media and legislators and medical practitioners
and the media. I mean,
it just goes on and on and on. But I had a moment where I got really fired up because I was just like, you know what? I'm a woman, and anybody who knows me knows I've kind of got like this girl power thing going on, right? Like, I lived on a farm for a couple years. I totally did that. I owned that. I wrestled with snakes. I had a lot of fun, and I'm a single mom, and a lot of times, like, I just have to get the job done, right? I've got to step up because I don't have anybody to do it for me. I have to do it myself. So I kind of have like this girl power mentality, but I'm kind of fed up with something. Because we have this war on women, and you hear women out there talking about this war on women, but it's not what you think it is.
No,
there is a war on women, but it's not what the media is showing.
No.
And what we are experiencing each and every day, that there is a war on women, but it is against mothers and against those who want to raise their families in making medical decisions, educational decisions. And what we are seeing is this generation who is hijacking this and making about something that it is not.
That's right.
And we're out there and we're saying, we stand for women, right? We're going to go march for women. All while they march into that building to take away our rights as mothers. This blows my mind, and it makes me angry. It makes me really upset.
I need to just get out of that.
Because it just really upsets me when I walk into that Capitol building and I see women with their pink on out there. We stand for women, and then they march into that building and tell me I don't have the right to make vaccine decisions for my children.
It's really outrageous.
It's outrageous.
The hypocrisy is so deep.
So deep. They will stand there and say, you know, we fight for women, we fight for medical freedom and choice.
There's only one medical procedure and choice that they are fighting for, and it's not after birth.
Okay. But then they would take these same children, right, that we are raising, and then say, you don't have the right to decide if you want an HPV vaccine for them. As a matter of fact, we believe that this should be mandated. And furthermore, not only mandated, but your child can consent without your permission. They can do it at a clinic. They can do it at school. They don't need your permission to go get this medical procedure. And it's just absolutely outrageous. And I'm frustrated as a woman because I'm like, you do not speak for me.
They don't speak for me
either. You absolutely do not speak for me. So here today, I want to give a voice to the women who are out there who are mothers. Okay, the women who are healthcare professionals who want to decide if they want a flu vaccine for themselves or not. What are some other instances where we are out here telling mothers that you're not smart enough, or women that you don't know enough, you're not educated, you're not a doctor, so therefore you don't get to make this decision? I mean, this is something that we are encountering each and every day.
And I don't think there's anything more fundamental about being a mother than being equipped with the ability to make decisions for your family.
Well, let's just talk about the individual rights, where we hear a lot about this. Women want to make their own healthcare decisions.
That's right.
It sounds
really
lovely, doesn't it? It sounds
ideal.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Do you carry that over to the flu vaccine?
Right.
Is that a decision you get to make for yourself? Because we're out there, right? And the media takes this one way, and then in the same breath will tell you, but healthcare professionals don't have the right to that same consent for injecting a flu vaccine into their body.
That's right.
Absolutely just,
It's
how many times am I going to say that? Like, it leaves me speechless.
That's
How many
right.
times am I going to say that it absolutely just leaves me speechless?
That's right.
A couple years ago, we attended both state conventions.
We've
I
talked
know.
about
Deep
this
breath.
before.
We have
But
talked
I think
about
it's
this.
worth revisiting for sure.
It is. And, you know, I have, again, a little bit, if you know me personally, you know that I've had a big shift in many of my beliefs over the years, but it was absolutely shocking and horrifying to me to be welcomed at the Republican convention, which I say shocking and horrifying, but I was shocked by it. I really was,
Yeah.
to be so welcomed, and then to show up at the Democratic convention, okay?
A party that you had once identified with.
Identified with these people and believed, you know, they believe in women. They stand for women. They stand for my rights. They're fighting for equal rights.
They're a party of inclusion and tolerance. Yep.
And yet the level of bullying and harassing, to stand at that convention, to have grown men
Cuss
at us
all day.
Okay.
It was
to tell us we don't care about your children. We would sacrifice one of yours for 20,000 of ours.
That's right.
In what world is this acceptable?
It was so outrageous. It is not okay.
Not okay under any circumstance. We talk about, you know, women not having, you know, equal rights, or being bullied or being harassed, and yet we allow this to take place. We allow it to take place in the media.
Yes.
Right? Look at what they have done to any Hollywood actress or movie star or anybody who has come out with anything other than I fully vaccinate, on schedule, on time. If you don't do that, your character is completely assassinated.
Yep.
But they care so much about women, but not that one.
Not that one.
Not that one. Mm-mm. Nope. She goes against science. How dare she?
Well, and you know, I actually had a phone call with a woman in my neighborhood who is an activist in our area, and she calls herself a progressive Democrat. And we were trying to find some common ground on this issue, and it was so interesting because you know, I was telling her it's as if vaccination status is the last acceptable population, where it's okay to bully, where it's okay to not have privacy protections, where it's okay to just mock, tease, and isolate. And it's outrageous. I mean, we saw how that worked in generations past in some really horrible eras of our world's history, and that's not where we want to go, where we want to return.
Absolutely not. And I just, you know, there's so many women out there who are being silenced by their families, by their communities, by their medical practitioners. And it's really time that we start to open the conversation and say, is this really acceptable? Is this how we are not always going to agree on vaccination and vaccination policy, but is this an acceptable manner to just engage other humans?
And that's right. It is not acceptable. It's almost as if this is the new civil rights movement here, in that, you know, we are going to, the only way we are going to come to agreement on this is by engaging civilly. And
this is a fundamental issue for me.
It is so fundamental. It is a human right.
This is a human rights issue. But for me personally, this trickles over all areas of my life. Another thing that came up at the state convention, where we had grown men screaming at us and calling us baby killers and how dare you, and I'm going to make it my mission in life to make sure you never step foot back in this building, which is a quote. I mean, somebody actually said that to us, okay? As they're screaming these things, they are also actively discussing openly how you, as a mother, as a parent, don't have the right to homeschool your child,
Yep.
to send them to private school, because if you believe in their education, you need to send them to public schools and make public schools better.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say for the record, okay, we have no stance with Texans for Vaccine Choice with how you educate your children.
None at all.
I'm simply using this as an example of a mindset, of an underlying fundamental belief that some individuals hold to them, that they believe that you are too stupid, which actually is another quote from this same convention where a lady said to me, I said, so you don't believe the mothers are educated enough to raise their own children? And I kid you not, she looked at me and said, no, people are too stupid. They shouldn't be raising their children. Okay. If you believe that, why are we allowing people to give birth?
Yeah.
Okay. And I say,
do we have to start issuing licenses
to give birth?
Get pregnant? I mean, is this where we're going?
Y'all,
You have to pass a basic IQ test before you're allowed to procreate in this state? I mean,
this is
so
absolutely
outrageous,
horrifying to me. And if you want to tie it back in, if there is a war going on, you know what? I agree. There is a war in women, and it starts with the war against mothers. Okay. As a mother, when I gave birth to that child, I made a commitment to that child and to my creator to raise this child in the best way possible. There's nobody on the face of the earth who's going to love this child, who's going to be more invested in the outcome for this child than I am as a parent. And that's what qualifies me to make these decisions.
And
not you, not anybody else, but me as the parent. And so I agree, there is a war on women. It's not what you think it is. And I really just encourage people to dig deeper into who is pushing these agendas.
That's right. Ultimately, it's about who is in charge. And as mothers, we are who gets to decide.
Absolutely. So with that,
somebody fired up.
You can see who got fired up. I did. I got really fired up. But this is going to be an ongoing series that we're going to talk about bullying and harassing and this war on women. And, how has this affected you in your life? What obstacles have you had to overcome in your marriage, in your relationships with teachers and professionals?
Relationships with your pastor.
Absolutely. In the church. This is a big one that we hear a lot on. So we're going to have this ongoing dialogue, but hopefully you understand our heart. Okay. We are a nonpartisan organization.
Absolutely.
We have our frustrations with both political parties. So let's just lay that out there right now and tell you, we have our bones to pick with both of them. However, we want to be a voice for you, for the mothers, for the healthcare workers, for the women of this world, for all of those raising our children to leave a better place. We're here to pave the way and protect and advance informed consent, medical privacy, and vaccine choice. So keep us posted. Let us know what you thought about this hot topic discussion we had today.